Fran, we're here kind of halfway between the mile start up there and the 7 furlong start down there, which we'll get to now in a second. And the course looks really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic, Nick. Don, they've, I know they only have 3 meetings a year, the 7 days at the big festival coming up soon, and it's a very, very well kept track. Despite these undulations, there's a great surface, great cushion to it, and superbly maintained.
And those undulations that you speak of, you can see just down here. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but there is a little bit of a ridge just down there, kind of about 7.5 furlongs out.
Yeah, that's right. And this mile start here, there's always a big field of 18 runners. You run down to that, and you can see why people want to be drawn in. Not only is it a turning track, you're continuously on the turn, but if you're drawn out wide in double figures, you actually got to run over this ridge, and it's quite gets horses quite unbalanced. And you can see horses initially jump well, look like they're going to get a position, then they seem to change their legs and lose their pitch after a furlong, and it's usually for this reason, or they get a little bit of interference and shade tight and meet that ridge wrong, and then they step back out of the race, and then they're on the back foot straight away then.
Yeah, is the draw a massive factor? Do you really want to be inside?
When declarations come out, the first thing you look at is the draw. If you see a single figure, it makes life a lot easier. If you're dealing with double figures, it makes life difficult. You're at the mercy of the way the race has been run. You're going to need a hell of a lot of things to go right. It just simplifies things if you've got a lowish draw at least.
And if you were drawn high when you were riding, did you have a strategy, or did it depend on the horse, or how did you thought the race was going to go?
I'd always just gamble on them going too quick. I think if you gun forward, and you can do that and try and get in, but if you're drawn in double numbers, from 10 upwards, and you try to gun forward, and the best you can do is maybe get in 3 wide. You do very well to get 2 wide, but you've done a lot of running to get there. You're going to face a stiff finish, and you've probably used petrol with. I'd always just be inclined to, given the connections permission and having discussed it, I'd be inclined to just take my time and hope that you can work your way into some sort of pitch and ride for a little bit of luck down the rail or one off the rail and see what way the race is developing. And you can do that if particularly if they get racing early from the 5 furlong mark at the top of the hill. If they get going at that point, then you can usually work your way through them if you're travelling well enough.
So Fran, they're watering the track here now. We're 3.5, 4 furlongs out from the winning line, and you can see the way the bend sweeps down the hill into the dip.
That's right, Don. There's the landmark, the castle. I suppose a lot of commentators refer to. They're past the castle, and this is when the race really develops. You've got your pitch, and at the between the 5 and the 6, you've everybody settled into some sort of a position. You've had to accept wherever you are in the run. But from this point on, the race begins to develop. People are getting a bit edgy. Particularly if they haven't gone quick, they're trying to get a bit closer if possible, and then if there's 2 or 3 horses, if 2 horses in front are dictating it, and maybe there's 1 or 2 that have been trapped wide and can't get in, they might just decide to press on forward, and then you can see why it's very inviting for the horses to end up going a shade too quick too soon, and then they freewheel down the hill, and if you start getting pressure at that point, it leaves you very little to work with in the finish when you meet that hill.
So Fran, we're in the dip. One of the unique aspects of Galway is the last 2 fences, isn't it, on the chase track, how close they are together, and the fact that they're the second last and last fences before you even turn for home.
Yeah, that's right, Don. You have a long run for the third and fourth last fence. Obviously with the downhill run, there's nowhere for another fence, so they become very compressed here at this point. The second last fence is just here on a slight downhill run, and then, what do we say, 13 strides later?
Yeah, 13 or 14 strides.
Later is the last fence, and the race is developed down the hill. The jumps horses are getting moving, and everybody wants to get a position to get over the second last and last. But I think jockeys do bear in mind that they've got a fierce long run in. It's if you might jump the last 2 well, but then you find yourself in front a long way from home, and that's got to be factored into it. I think you can often see guys 2 or 3 lengths off the leader, and they might be travelling well, and they've just given themselves what they think is a time and to get over the last 2 fences, maybe to be just landed on the leader's quarters, to go challenge at that point. I think they got to weigh up where they want to be after the last rather than before the second last.
Yeah, and sure, even though you've seen horses jump the last upsize and then win by 20 lengths.
Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you just see the if you come under pressure, just fold quite quickly. Particularly if they've gone hard, they pay a price for it. And with the track being out so wide here now, there's a big long climb up the crown of the hill, and it is a very, very stiff finish. Most lads swing left and towards that stands rail. If it was my choice, I'd definitely swing right all day long and try and take my chance. And unless the ground is soft, you don't need to be that wide.
And then last year, when Mark Enright and Clark like he led from very early on, kicked from the top of this hill and kicked over the last
Yeah,
kept kicking.
and you can see that happening too.
Yeah.
You know that horse get out and enjoy the track and seem to thrive on the idiosyncrasies of it and the undulation. It seems to bring out the best in him. And he looked like he was going too fast, and you're waiting for him to fall in the hole, and he just kept extending, and gradually in behind everything fell apart.
It's been a dream day for Mark Enright. Clark Cam, Mark Enright and Gordon Elliott from Patrick's Park. Jury.
So looking back down the track, Fran, from the winning line, we can see the home straight is relatively short, and then you can see the home bend with its feet right-handed into it, and then the last fence, second last fence, they're in the dip. You can hardly even see them from here.
Yeah, that's right, Don. You know, it just shows you what a climb it is, and you know, we can't even see the dip as such, and you know, that long sweeping turn into the straight, and then you're met with this hill, and you can see why it's quite intimidating for horses and tiring for them in the finish. You know, it can be a lonely place if you're in front, and if a horse begins to tire under you, you know, that last, before it levels out for the last 100 yards, that previous 150 yards up, that can take its toll on them. And it's about this point of that gate there that you can obviously a race just change. You know, a horse that looked like it was going to maybe win a length ends up being fourth.
So, and the flat track and hurdles track, I know the rail will be kind of moving in a wee bit as the week goes on, but that's inside, isn't it? And the chase track is, in theory anyway, it's on the outside here.
That's right, yes. Yeah, the chase track's on the widest point all the way around, and you know, the chasers do have the full use of the home straight for the finish, but generally they tend to keep to the stand side.
This is where you want to be, in front. Well, how do you get to this point in front?
Don, you've done a lot of work to get here, so you have. You know, it's you know, there's no easy race around Galway. You know, everything we've said before about the way the track rides and getting a run with a big field, and you know, you get up here and you get by the line. You know, things have, you know, even if it haven't gone well, you might have got a horse might have got out of trouble, or you might have got a good run through, or something's gone right that you've got here. You know, you've had a bit of luck. And
is the festival here, is it like, you know, if you're obviously, this is probably on the chase track here where you're coming down the near side rail, but is it a different atmosphere to, let's say, the September meeting?
Yeah, most definitely. It's you know, it's just it's probably something along the lines of Irish Champions Weekend, you know, with the Curragh in Leopardstown. It's got that kind of a buzz about it, maybe more so because everything's a bit more compressed here. Everything, you know, the crowd, it feels like the crowd is in on top of you, and you have the infield here as well, where there's actually a full, you know, contingent of bookmakers and a family type crowd, so you're getting noise from both sides, and you know, it funnels into that point up at the winning post, and you can hear a lot going on.
And when you're riding, is it a week that you can enjoy? Like, can you relax in the evening time, or is it all work?
It used to be up and down every day, you know, and yeah, you'd have to ride out and that. So, you know, if you could get a winner early in the week, it kind of takes the pressure off. It's a long week if you're not getting involved in the finishes. You know, you could go 7 days without even getting into a finish here. You know, just maybe things didn't go your way and that. So, if you get a winner early on, that's it. You know, anything after that's a bonus.
What is it, do you think, about Galway? Why is it so special?
It's very hard to describe. I think it's just the timing of the year. You know, it's that July, August time. You know, the builders' holidays, kids are down. It's a fantastic city in its own right. It's got a big tourist destination, and you know, it's seen through the week now. It's the crowd changes. The Monday, Tuesday is a certain type of crowd, and Wednesday, Thursday it's a party crowd. Friday night is just jammed with families, and into the bank holiday weekend, and the Mad Hatters on the Saturday, you know, the fancy dress type things, and it just brings together all kinds of people, and I think people just enjoy it so much they just plan to come back here year on year, and if the weather's good and kind, you know, and everybody wants to back a winner, and you know, it's good fun.